Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Well, just breaking in now to some developing local news, and emergency services are responding to a crash on Hobart's southern outlet. It's understood a bus and multiple vehicles are involved. Both lanes prior to Mount Nelson are blocked. Traffic is also jammed across the city, including over the Tasman Bridge. We'll have more details as soon as we know more. The government has been accused of withholding information on the proposed Macquarie Point Stadium. State Growth Secretary Kim Evans says his department provided advice to the Premier, who hasn't made any of it public.
Another day of estimates dealing a dual offensive on the AFL deal.
Has Treasury expressed any concern related to the stadium project or the Mac Point urban renewable project?
The Deputy Premier stonewalling questions about risks posed to the budget.
Treasury and I speak about every possible matter on numerous occasions. I'm not going to speak about Treasury advice that's provided to me. Treasury provide advice to me on a range of matters.
The Premier is firm. He's released all his advice about the stadium that's not Cabinet in confidence. But we now know State Growth provided frequent advice while the team deal was being negotiated.
Yeah, we did provide written advice to the Premier.
Right, there's a problem.
With the stadium part of the team deal, those across the table are demanding to see the advice. State Development Minister Guy Barnett, responsible for the stadium, says he's received none himself.
I've been in Cabinet, I've been a minister. I understand how frequently you get written advice from your department.
What's said and done and deliberated on within Cabinet, absolutely, I will say, absolutely nothing about that.
Labor and the Greens now convinced the Premier's withheld advice against Parliament's orders.
The question for the House in 2 weeks' time will be, does it hold the Premier of Tasmania in contempt?
Plans to start construction in 2025 have also been revealed. It's due for completion by the end of 2028, with financial penalties if the state doesn't meet that date. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
It has been revealed Tasmanians have been fined $3.2 million for speeding since new mobile cameras were introduced in September. The Deputy Premier dismissing any suggestion they're aimed at revenue raising.
We haven't set out with a revenue motive. It's a road safety motive. And I hope that we can drive down the number of people being caught as awareness increases that it is an anywhere, anytime approach.
Legislative changes will soon be made so drivers caught using their mobiles can be charged and fined. A number of local doctors have joined a growing list calling for Tasmania to end native forest logging. Supporters of the industry say their concerns are short-sighted, but we're being warned the practice is contributing to the greatest health crisis facing the planet.
Last week, it was prominent Australians calling for Tasmania to axe native forest logging. Now some of the state's medical professionals have joined the debate.
Anyone who is born today is committed into a climate crisis. We need to make sure that we're going to try and mitigate that.
I've got to stand up for that. One of the ways I can do that is call for native forest logging to be stopped.
In an open letter, 7 leading local doctors say they're concerned the state government is ignoring the effects of the practice on climate change, calling on them to follow the lead of Western Australia and Victoria and end it.
We do actually have a sort of ethical obligation to speak more broadly about things that impact the health of our patients.
Claiming climate change seriously impacts people's health.
Conditions like heart failure or kidney failure or cancer, then increasing heat makes those conditions worse.
We also see mental health burdens from, people exposed to traumatic conditions.
The state government is backing the sector.
We won't be ending native logging. We have a very well regulated native timber industry.
While the industry says logging plays a role in reducing carbon emissions.
Enables carbon to be both captured in timber products and also sequestered into the regrowing trees.
Warning against increasing our reliance on overseas timber.
There's a whole range of carbon emissions attached to it and lack of oversight of the sustainable practices.
Doctors are warned time is ticking.
We're not experts in forestry, but we're experts in health. And we know that the impacts of climate change are going to affect people's health.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian car dealership is giving staff better work-life balance with a more flexible approach to rostering. Jackson Motor Company is allowing staff to knock a day off their week and work 4 9.5-hour days to total their 38 hours.
It gives me more time to spend time with the little fella at home, and then all the stuff that's not open on the weekends that you can go and do just helps out.
It also allows them to pre-plan if they've got children and their medical appointments or whatever their personal needs might be.
The transition also extending the company's business hours for clientele. Returning to our developing story now, and Hobart traffic has been crippled tonight following a crash on the southern outlet. Reporter John Hunt joins us now. John, how's it all looking?
Well, Kim, as you can see behind me, it's a heavy night on the roads, with traffic around Hobart's southern areas being brought to a crawl. Police say a multiple vehicle crash involving a bus has occurred near the Mount Nelson section of the outlet. As you can see, Davey Street through to the southern outlet is moving at a snail's pace. Traffic as far back as the Tasman Bridge near the Domain is also impacted. Drivers are being advised to use Proctors Road or the Channel Highway through Taroona if looking to travel that way. It follows traffic today being slowed to 40 kilometres an hour in the area heading into Hobart following an oil spill. Multiple crashes were reported, with the issue starting at Mount Nelson and going as far as Mangalore. So Kim, it's been a rough day on the road today. If you're travelling near South Hobart, be prepared for a lengthy commute.
Launceston's iconic food and wine event Festivali is getting set for its 2024 edition. The stallholder application process is now open. It will close on the 21st of next month. Last year, the 3-day event was a sellout, with vendors reporting record sales. Festivali 2024 will be held at the start of February in City Park. A Tasmanian father is using the heartache from his son's shock death to help others experiencing hardship. Archies 100 is teaming up with Variety Tasmania to make hospital life for young children that little bit easier.
7 years old and full of life, Archie Green passed away in 2020 after a tragic boating incident. The bright little boy survived by his family.
He was such a little superhero, kind, caring little fella that we just tried to find some positives and maybe project his little legacy out to the world.
Mum Hayley and Dad Damien creating Archie Bears 100 to celebrate their son who gave so much in the little time he had.
He was an organ donor for 5 people, so he changed 5 lives, and we're so very proud of that.
The initiative coming to light on what would have been Archie's 8th birthday, a fundraising running event held in his honour.
We got a lot of organ donation registrations. We made a little Archies 100 Blood Life team who, that's gone really, really well. So I think we were number 30 in the state for donations on his team for the first year.
More than $200,000 also raised for the Royal Hobart Hospital, which cared for Archie at the end of his life. Damien today revisiting the children's and neonatal wards, this time with Variety Tasmania to mark the start of a fruitful partnership.
The main objective of this partnership is to make this stay, while it is terrible for children and their families, as smooth and as warm as possible.
They're obviously very close with children and families and helping disadvantaged people, and very similar core values to us.
The duo delivering Lego to unwell children, the first of many heartfelt gestures and projects to come, with Archie in their minds and in their hearts every step of the way. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Veterans are being given greater opportunities within the state service under a new strategy. Minister Guy Barnett announced it today, along with a new target to employ 100 new veterans in the next 4 years.
So the strategy includes a range of actions to not only achieve this target, but to support our many veterans already employed in the Tasmanian State Service.
It has also been revealed Tasmanian gold card holders are entitled to less than their interstate counterparts. A review is currently taking place. An urban farming business producing micro herbs is now set to grow its share of the market. Naked Carrot has secured support through the state government's Small Business Growth Strategy program. The company will invest in new technology, reducing their need to take manual measurements.
This will take some of the time out of that, so we'll be able to go up to Launceston and do sales up there.
Yep.
We'll be able to interest chefs up the East Coast.
Delighted to see businesses such as this come to the table and to be able to get a little bit of extra funding to take them into a growth trajectory.
More than 20 businesses and organisations were successful, sharing in grants worth between $10,000 and $50,000. The City of Hobart is giving small community groups more room to grow, with grants of up to $5,000 allocated to 32 successful applicants. How the money is spent is up to each organisation, whether it be on festivals, dance projects or new uniforms.
Uniform is identity. When you are there, you're representing the community you stand for.
That sort of equipment is, essential equipment, for a sporting club, and quite often it can be quite sort of financially difficult to purchase.
The next round of funding opens in August.
Launceston will be without one of its biggest stars for 3 games. Joby Harper has earned the tribunal's ire after 2 whacks on Clarence's Keegan Ryan, including one directly in front of the umpire. It means he'll miss games against North Launceston, Glenorchy and Lauderdale. Rising Tasmanian hockey star Max Larkin says he can't wait to learn from some of the country's best players. The 20-year-old has been selected for the national under-21 side, playing against the Netherlands, Belgium and Germany. Overlapping with the Kookaburra's next batch of Pro League fixtures, the goalkeeper is excited to train with the likes of Eddie Ockenden and Josh Belts.
We'll definitely get as much out of it as we possibly can. They're a very high-level competition. I've played in the Tassie Tigers with them. Yeah, it's great to go away with a couple of Tassie fellas.
Larkin leaves for the series tomorrow, which begins later this month. Fresh from retiring as a player, jack jumper Jared Weeks is jumping straight to the sidelines, becoming an assistant coach. He's long been earmarked for the role after buying into the culture first mantra of Scott Roth. From electrifying talent on the court,
Weeks fades away in front of his bench and they love it,
to joining the bench as an assistant coach. So how will Jared Weeks adapt to his new role?
It's a bit weird to go back to being a rookie after being a veteran in the league. So yeah, it's something I'm excited. It's going to be a large learning curve to sort of see the other side of basketball.
Weeks' coaching CV draws on head coach Scott Roth, who singled out the 254-game veteran for the job after Jacob Chance pulled up stumps.
He knew that I wanted to get in coaching. Obviously, I said I've been working with these guys for the last 2 years now, and yeah, for him to have me as my first point of call, especially after someone of Chancey's pedigree left, yeah, huge compliment.
His role will orbit around the team's offence. He'll also be in charge of scouting new talent, and it's here Roth's oft-quoted culture guys theory will shine through.
He's obviously big into the culture side of things, which I highly value. I think that's a great part of Australian sport and one that can be underutilised.
He'll begin the role next month in time for pre-season training.
We're really, really happy with the balance and obviously excited that we can keep a former player in the group.
And the club expects to know whether Milton Doyle will stay with the Jack Jumpers in the next week. Good evening. Today, Launceston and Devonport 16, Burnie 15 and Hobart 13. A lovely 19 degrees in Strawn and Flinders Island with the state's top with 19. King Island 18, 16's the top for Maria Island, Grove and St Helens. Smithton, Lowhead and Friendly Beaches 15, 8 for Laiwini and for Bushy Park. Cloud extends over most of the state, although becoming variable about the southwest. Cloud also over the southwest of WA, the result of a passing cold front. Mid to high level cloud over central parts, and cloud also persists over Victoria and southern New South Wales. Tomorrow shows a high east of Tasmania with an associated ridge extending towards the east coast of the mainland towards northern Queensland. North to northwesterly 10 to 20 knots tomorrow, increasing to 15 to 25 knots during the afternoon, reaching up to 30 knots about the west and eastern waters. Swells to 1 to 2 metres in the west and south, half a metre in the north. In the east, half a metre to 1.5 metres. Northeasterly, 1 to 1.5 metres. Another strong wind warning for most coastal areas tomorrow. Also tomorrow, Hobart, a late shower or two, 18's the top. Showers increasing for Geeveston and Bothwell, both 17. To the north, Launceston, late rain and 19. Devonport increasing rain, 17. Cressy also showers and 17. Burnie, rain 16 degrees, showers for Strawn 18. Curry, windy with showers and 17. In the east, St Helens a shower or two, 18. Slightly warmer in Swansea with 19 degrees. And another late shower or two for Orford, 18 degrees is the top there. Looking further into the week, statewide rain most likely in the north on Thursday. Friday, showers in the west with possible hail and snow down to 700 metres in the south. Saturday, mostly fine across the state with possible showers in the west. Tomorrow, Perth, easing showers 16. Showers also for Adelaide, partly cloudy in Brisbane and in Sydney. Darwin's the country's top for tomorrow, 32 degrees. And Hobart, partly cloudy, 12 degrees. Launceston, mostly cloudy, 13. Devonport, cloudy and 14. Now, Kim, we might have some rain ahead of us this week, but the Bureau has actually declared an El Nino event for the eastern states. So that means we could be looking at a drier and warmer winter and spring.
And that is all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.